Hey folks, Infamous Jack here, and now that AMC's back on Dish Network, which I have, I thought I'd give you quick reviews on the first 3 episodes of the new season of The Walking Dead. Hope you enjoy it. Now, before I start with the videos, I should warn you that there's going to be spoilers in this from both the comics and the TV show. So, if you're wanting to watch this completely spoiler free, do not watch this. Please don't. So, also, this video is not going to be as detailed as on each episode as the later ones will be, just because I got 3 episodes to cover for this one. Alright, up first we got Seed, which was the season opener. I like Seed an awful lot, actually. I thought it was pretty well paced for the most part, except for a few things that I'll get into in just a little bit. But for the most part, it was really well paced. I think AMC had gotten some complaints about there not being enough zombie kills, because I'm pretty sure that one episode had more zombie kills than all the other seasons combined. Now, some people have been complaining about the gap in between season 2 and season 3 in time. It's been about 7 months, which I think they kind of had to do because Rick's son, the actor playing him, has obviously aged since the show has premiered 3 years ago, and it would start to become too obvious that hey, he's older than he's supposed to be. So I think that's actually a good change. The acting and directing for this and well all 3 episodes, I'll just go ahead and get it done and right now, are really good, so no complaints in that department. Now, one thing I'm noticing, since like I said I've read all the comics, is that they're trying to do things with other characters than what happened to them in the comics, because well, certain characters have been killed off that weren't killed off in the comics at this point. So they're still trying to continue certain storylines, only with different characters in the role. Not sure how I feel about some of these. We'll just have to wait to see how they pan out in the end. When it comes to complaints, I do have 2 major ones I want to get out. The first is how they handle the introduction of Michonne, which I'm not sure if I'm saying that right or not, so someone correct me if I'm wrong and you know how to actually say it. Her appearance here just felt like they were obligated to show her because she was in season 2 at the very end, and they know fans have been expecting her for a while now. The other problem I had is the pacing of the very last bit of the episode. It felt like they were just kind of rushing that entire scene just so they could get a cliffhanger ending, in which I didn't think they needed to rush a cliffhanger ending, but then again, I'm not a TV executive. Maybe there's a good reason they did it. I'm not sure. But yeah, final thoughts on the first episode of Walking Dead is that it's really good. I have a few minor issues here and there, but overall, I give the first episode a 9 out of 10. And that leads us to episode 2, entitled Sick. Now, this one I do have a few more issues with than with the season premiere, and I'll slowly get into that as I go. With this one, it continues from the cliffhanger of the first episode with the prisoners that were here trapped in the kitchen in interacting with Rick and how that all goes down. My main issue with this is it felt very, very quick paced. You would think they'd spend a lot more time with the shock of, oh, hey, there's people in here, like what they did in the comics. I think this might have been because we all know season 2, the first half was all spent looking for the girl, and I know a lot of people complained about that, which I don't get. I personally didn't mind it at all. But as a result, a lot of plot threads that took place over several issues in the comics are all done in the course of 45 minutes with this, which is a shame because I didn't feel like they were fully developed for this one. And we really don't get to know these prisoners at all before most of them are completely wiped out by the end. There's only one character who we know will be sticking around, if I'm assuming he's the same one from the one in the comics who stuck around, and another one who I don't even remember his name, so I'm not sure who he's supposed to be or if he's someone new. This really bugs me a lot more than it will someone who just watches the show, because with the way this ended means we won't get one of the most iconic moments in the comics where we slowly are watching Rick lose his sanity, or so it seems. And at one point in the comics, they have a "if you kill, you die" rule, and stuff that happens with the prisoners kind of throws that out the window. Just helps show the completely different world that they're living in, which I gotta admit, I'm sad not to see that. Still, this episode is also well acted, and for what it is, it's well paced. Like I said, people who only are watching the show probably won't be bugged as much as this, so I'm gonna give this one a 7 out of 10. Finally, we have the most recent episode, Walk With Me, which focuses on Michonne and Audra, which I get the feeling this season might be broken up like that, with some episodes focusing on the main group and the others focusing on Michonne and company. Just a theory I got right now, not sure if that'll pan out or not. Anyways, this one opens with them finding the wreckage of a helicopter, only to have another group show up, and they're soon captured by Merle, who's Daryl's brother, who we haven't seen since the middle of the first episode. Oh, but if you've read any entertainment news at all, you've seen leaks of photo sets, so you know that he's been in this. Not sure how I feel about seeing him in it right now. I personally would have waited till after they were done with the governor story, but that's just my 2 cents on the matter. We'll see how this pans out. In terms of this episode, I'm kind of mixed on it. Mostly because I think the way they handled the introduction of the governor was done much better in the actual comic books, with it being Rick, Michonne, and Glenn who discover the town that the governor's in charge of. And there's not near as much sneaking around with, like, no, this might be a good guy. There is for a couple pages, but it's very quickly established, no, this is a bad guy you want to watch out for, which I actually prefer. Or just because of the way they showed, no, watch out for this guy. He's a monster worse than The Walking Dead. But still, the actor who they got to play him is doing a pretty good job. Not sure how I feel about his sidekick who he's got with him. I don't remember that character's name. He isn't in the comics, but it's kind of a wait and see thing. My only one real complaint is it looks like they might be trying to develop some sort of romantic relationship with Andrea and the governor, which I don't see how they're going to be able to pull that off, but again, that's just my 2 cents talking. Another complaint I have is that Michonne, when she's first introduced in the comics, is a very mysterious character. They don't know her backstory at all. It looks like they're trying to keep that element, but it just doesn't make sense with the story, considering that Andrea and her have been together for the last 7 months, so why would she not already know this information? It just doesn't add up when you really think about it. And they kept bringing attention to it, which makes it even more distracting. But still, I did enjoy this episode. I don't think, well, there has been one episode of The Walking Dead I didn't really care for, but I won't go into that right now. So I'm going to give this episode another 7 out of 10. Thanks for watching this video. Feel free to share your thoughts, and I'll try to keep these for every single new episode, and other ones down the line will be much more in detail. I just wanted to get these out there quick so that I could catch up to the first 3, since Dish Cup customer and we only just now got the show back. Alright, thanks for watching.